Good morning, everyone. A shocking and disturbing video was released yesterday during a court hearing when fraud allegations were being discussed in a Georgia hearing. The story goes like this. While ballot counting was occurring, there was a woman, one of the election officials, went around the room and told all of the poll observers that ballot counting was finished for the night, that they were done. And then all the ballot observers cleared the room. There was many reporters that were watching as well with cameras. They all cleared the room, and only 4 people stayed behind. And during the next 2 hours, when there was no poll observers in the room, when there was no reporters in the room, these 4 individuals proceeded to take giant suitcases of ballots, pull them out from underneath a table, and then run them through a ballot counting machine over the next 2 hours completely unsupervised. Just watch.
At about 8 o'clock in the morning, we're going to roll this back and show it to you. There you go. So now they're going to start pulling these ballots out from under this table. This table, the black one, was placed there by the lady with the blonde braids at about 8:22 a.m. in the morning. So she put that table there. So the same person who's staying behind now, the same person who cleared the place out under the pretense that we're going to stop counting, is the person who put the table there at 8:22 in the morning. Yeah, I saw 4 suitcases come out from underneath the table. Yeah, upper right hand, you see the gentleman in the red. So he just pulled one out. So what are these ballots doing there, separate from all the other ballots? And why are they only counting them whenever the place is cleared out with no witnesses? Is the question. So these machines can process about 3,000 ballots an hour. You have multiple machines there, and they're there for 2 hours. So you do the math. How many ballots went through those machines in those 2 hours when there was no one there to supervise, to be present, consistent with your statutes and rules, to supervise the tabulation? We believe that could easily be, and probably is certainly, beyond the margin of victory in this race.
If this video turns out to be what it looks like, this goes way beyond voter fraud. This is organized crime. The possibility of running 18,000 ballots through 3 voting machines over the course of 2 hours, completely unobserved, as poll watchers were lied to and told that the vote counting would stop. Even equally disturbing to the video that you just saw was one of the reactions from the Democratic senators that was at that hearing. Her name was Elena Parent, and she had a complete meltdown at that hearing and claimed that there's no voter fraud, no evidence, none of it. And she was saying that that story has been debunked for weeks by the Georgia State Secretary. Then she was asked a very obvious question. How is it that this story was debunked weeks ago when that video footage was just released yesterday?
Thank you for being with us. We heard from the Secretary of State's office earlier, just a couple hours ago, that they've investigated this repeatedly, that they had a monitor on site the entire time, and frankly, this has been debunked for weeks by our Secretary of State's office.
I doubt he's seen the video.
Evidence, then I think the courts will probably be able to handle this once you present your evidence to them. As I'm aware, there have been about 40 lawsuits dismissed already. And according to the law of the state of Georgia, we do not have the power to submit alternate electors. The provision in the law is quite clear at 21-501F.
Is there a question?
Senator, we'll ask questions. We'll have a time for statements at the conclusion. If we
My question is, since this has been debunked repeatedly, what evidence can you give to us that counters what our elections officials have presented us with only an hour ago?
You just saw it. Your officials need to watch the video.
What about the fact that they say that they had a monitor there the entire time?
I can't speak for them.
Well, thank you.
They did not have the video.
They said they had a monitor the whole time.
You're looking at the room.
There's no Secretary of State
then maybe we should invite them back in.
All right, well, we may need to do that. Senator Tillery.
Maybe a question for Senator Parent. I heard you say several times this has been debunked, but I also just heard that this video just appeared last night. So how could it have been debunked?
Well, my response, not being an expert, is that these very allegations came up right away after the election, almost a month ago, and have been repeatedly discussed by the Secretary of State's office, including everything that we're seeing here.
But is this
And
not
there have been explanations for all of it.
Is this not the first time this video has been shown?
I believe that this is the
Yes.
first time this video has been
Yes.
seen.
And
It
the
is.
And
That's
the news
correct.
media hasn't seen this video or have not?
They have
put it
not.
out? They have not
Because
put
I've
it out.
I've been in contact with counsel for the State Farm Arena, and
Will be today.
Okay, Senator Anderson, you're on number 7, correct?
Yes.
And as you can see there, Elena Parent had absolutely no answer when she was asked how exactly could that video have been debunked weeks ago when it was just released yesterday. She had no words. She had no answer. So there's two different possibilities here. Either she didn't know that had happened and she was just ignorant, or she did know that and she was just a bold-faced liar. In any event, it seems very, very clear that she was very upset. She was very disgruntled. She was very irritated that that video was even being played during this hearing. Why exactly? Why was she so upset that this video footage was being released? If you are not okay with transparency, if you're not okay with a release of evidence, then you are in fact the enemy of the people.